Okay. Like this is, and Shabbat we say Gam B'Simcha B'Tzala. This is in the Siddur. These are words in the Siddur. We say Shalom Aleichem Eshet Chayil. Okay. These are words in the Siddur that we say in the prayer book. And so that we should say, okay. Okay, so there's 5 aspects to the soul. This is now the wisdom of the previous Lubavitcher Rebbe, Rabbi Yosef Yitzchak. Let's have a picture of Rabbi Yosef Yitzchak just to make everything clear. I'm amazed that I'm succeeding in bringing up these pictures, really. Rabbi Yosef Yitzchak. There we go. Here we go. Look at this. See, usually, Rabbi Yosef, is there a picture here? Is there a picture? Here's a picture. There we go, picture of the previous. Yeah, it's sort of small, but see, it didn't work. Okay, here we go. There's a picture of the previous Lubavitcher Rebbe. Good. Rabbi Yosef Yitzchak. Ready? Okay, so it says, there are 5 aspects of the soul. Soul is very complicated. The soul enlivens the body, gives us intellect, power of motion, power of emotion, will. But then there's the soul aspect of Yechida. In a Jew, this is the essence of the Jewish soul, which is attached to the essence of God. This is only revealed when a person is put into a test. What does it mean, a test? That a person, usually the choices that we make in life are usually motivated by what's good for me. That's natural. A person making a choice in life, what's good for God, that's very unusual. That's very unusual. And it's also very unusual to know if that's really your true motive. The only real example we have in the Torah of pure choosing God is Abraham taking his son for the Yechida, the sacrifice, right? Abraham stood to lose everything, even his world to come. You can't kill people. He stood to lose everything. But he knew that that's what God wanted. Why God wanted it made no sense whatsoever. That's not the God of the Jews wants you to kill your children. That's the opposite of Judaism, opposite of God. But God clearly said it to Abraham. And so Abraham said, I don't care what happens to me. I don't care what happens. And his son saw his father's joy to do what God wants, even though he's going to lose everything. And Yitzchak went also willingly. That's called Yechida. That's called the essence of the Jewish soul. It's revealed only when there is a test. When a person has to make a very difficult decision and decide, I'm only doing things for the sake of God. That's the essence, motivation of the Jewish soul. That's called Yechida. It's called Chabuka B'Dabuka Bach. It's written in the Hoshana prayers. We say, this is the soul which is Chabuka B'Dabuka Bach. It is clinging, binding of the essence of the soul, which brings to, when the essence of the soul brings to, here it says, Ta'enet Ulach, it bears your yoke. A yoke is like a connection, like an ox, they put a yoke on it. Observing Torah and the commandments with total self-sacrifice. And then what? It says, Yechida liyachdach. Yechida liyachdach. That is unified totally with you. Doing the Torah, Yechida. That's Yechida, that's the level of Yechida. Yachdach, it testifies to the oneness of God. The essence of the Jewish soul is revealed. We see this in general in the Jewish people, right? What reward do the Jewish people get for being Jewish? They get murdered, they get pogromed, they get raped, they get killed. Here we see on October the 7th, right? The Hamas came and they raped and they killed and they burned up children and everybody else. And everybody says, the Jews are at fault. Oh, of course it was bad what happened. No, but we're the ones that are at fault. Why are we at fault? Why? Because that's the nature of the Jews. The nature of the Jews is that the world hates us, kills us, destroys us. What do the Jews do in reaction to this? They become stronger in Judaism. That doesn't make any sense. Leave Judaism, get away from it. You're only getting punished. No, we're in Judaism not because of what we're going to receive. not because it's a social club or because whatever it is. That's also very nice, right? But that's not the essence reason. The essence reason of Judaism is doing what God wants, even if you lose everything. Through this aspect of when the Yechida is revealed, then our nature is transformed into godliness. God doesn't want us to be like Abraham and sacrifice our children, to be going crazy for him all the time. God wants us to express this unity of his in everything we do, in our job, in our store. This is the source of happiness. This finds expression in intensity with how a person does Torah and the commandments, with an inner enthusiasm, with a sense of great delight and tremendous pleasure in serving God. A pleasure that serves this, everything is equal to him. Whether things are good for him or they're bad for him, he is serving God. Whatever happens, he knows that God is the boss, God is doing it, and therefore you have to be positive in all situations. That's the essence of the Jewish soul. Become absolutely, everything to him is exactly the same, because he knows that everything that happens comes from God, and God wants to know how I'm going to react to it. That's the essence of the Jewish soul. Therefore, he has no delight and appetite for physical things in the world. The physical things in the world, he does things in the world. He could be rich. It says that one of the examples was Rebbe Yehuda Hanassi. It says Rebbe Yehuda Hanassi, he was like the last of the Tanaim, the Pharisates, like they disparagingly called them. And he had the power to raise the dead. It says even his pupils had the power to raise the dead. And he said before he died, and he was tremendously rich. He was good friends with, I guess, Mark Antony, I guess. He was with the Caesar anyways. Tremendously rich. And he said before he died, he said, God, you know that I have never gotten any pleasure from this world. He ate the best foods. He ate the best. God, you can testify that I have never gotten any pleasure from the world. Everything he did was only because what God wanted. That's called the essence of the Jewish soul. That's Yechida l'yachtach, and that is expressed when we say Hoshanas every day. That's part of the Jewish prayer in daily prayers in Sukkot, in the holiday of Sukkot. Okay. Clinging to you, revealing the essence of the Jewish soul. Now let us, what are we doing now? Story.